So we're back with 40K Rogue Trader. Let me look and see what my agendas are now. And yeah, move on. Continue the story. Alright, we got a couple things we can do before we have to come back here and deal with our spies. There is a dog. The tall, middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Adira turns her head towards you and offers you a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. You seem to have a very strong reaction to what Argenta said by the broken lens.
It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch. After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
And what does it all mean?
If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit.
You think I should keep an eye on her?
It certainly wouldn't hurt. I'll keep a watch on her too. If only I knew what it meant. Maybe it means danger for her. Or maybe danger coming from her.
Epitaph, it's an N872-04 tech blind. Do these words mean anything to you? Perhaps your abilities can tell you something?
They mean nothing to me. They're just words. A whisper. So quiet, I barely caught it. Like a feather landing on a pile of down. Something about damned ambitions, antiquity, terrible antiquity, and chance. Chance through it all. Oh, now I have a headache. And the stupid bloody whisper wasn't much help.
So where do you come from?
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
Tell me about Lyra.
It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win. From poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention.
You never finished your story about the first time crossing the warp.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, If you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
What did you do before you came to be on the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra. There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
Adira looks at you expectantly, then, as though clarifying, she uses her hands to indicate a head exploding and laughs. So then how did you end up in the Rogue Trader service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the von Valancius dynasty.
Have you ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones. They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the ship, I can, after some Amisec. But don't go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
Now let's talk about something else.
Of course, Lord Captain.
Have you recovered from your encounter with the false Theodora?
I'm not going to lie. I haven't. Maybe I never will. But I'm not hearing random voices anymore. And I haven't been calling anyone from the other side. No. All that's done with. After what you did for me, I can't let you down again.
Very well, Adira. We will hope for the best.
Yes, ma'am, Lord Captain. We will.
What's it like being a psyker?
Lord Captain, forgive me. But it would be like talking to a person born blind about colors. I could spend hours explaining, but it wouldn't make any sense to you. Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack. There's no way to close it, no matter how hard I try. I've just had to get used to the whispers from the other side. When I need to use it for work, I listen in more closely. But I usually just try not to notice it.
How do you live with this whispering in your head?
Training, habit, and a little amasec and a couple other things you can get on the lower decks. If you put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than listening to the living, anyhow.
And what would happen if your door burst open?
The thing is, the less I think about it, the less chance someone from the other side has to sense my fear. Let's not talk about it.
Aren't you afraid of losing control?
You know, what happened to me? Well, you remember. I thought I'd go crazy with fear. But now that I know you've got my back, it's like that cursed whispering in my head has grown quieter. It's easier not to think about the worst that could happen.
Can you see my future?
All right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you. If you'll allow it, I can listen right now.
Sure.
All right. Let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Adira laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face. Her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by a breeze from a half-open door.
An auto pen painstakingly lays out the plan, letter by letter, step by step. But only one fate awaits this note. Another's hand will carelessly douse it with ink, drawing over someone else's design with your blood. The hand is directed by another hand, and it in turn by another. Who? Who stands behind the shadows of monstrous spires? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now...
Sager shrugs sheepishly and sniffs. Alright, thanks for trying, but I must take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
My sound.
Lord Captain.
Do the words Epitaph, Incident N87204, or Tech Flight mean anything to you?
No, definitely not. No, I don't recall anything like that.
Alright, I take my leave until next time, Seneschal.
Lord Captain.
What does that say? Lord Captain, ship informed me of our imminent meeting. Can you recall anything unusual about Theodore's travels? Do the words Epitaph, Incident N872-04, or Tech Blight ring a bell? All of Lady Theodore's journeys could be considered unusual. Her odysseys were always audacious. As for the words you mentioned, none of them sound familiar to me as far as I can tell. Except maybe the incident. I recall coming across this word in transmissions several times. I think it was repeated by the former engine seer, the one who perished during Conrad Votvir's uprising. He was describing it as the incident, something quite remarkable apparently. At some point in the past, the entire ship was hit by a massive system failure. All systems stopped responding for 1/5 of a second. Most of the crew, including myself, as I was likely on board at the time, did not notice anything strange, but tech priests are sensitive to such things. That's all I could tell you, Lord Captain. I wish I could help more. That'll be all for now. I live to serve, Lord Captain. So, helmsman is up here. wrong way. God bless America. The tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle, blue veins snake under his white, almost dove-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in wires that hint at the presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face seems to be twisted in a perpetual grimace of annoyance and anger, but he greets you with a respectful nod. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman on board at your service. Do the words epitaph mean anything to you, or perhaps incident? N872-04 or tech flight has something to do with Theodora's travels, rather extraordinary travels at that. Can't say that they do, Lord Captain. This aren't ringing any bells. Then again, remembering all the places Theodora went is... Epitaph incident? We've always had heaps of incidents happening on board, but... Through my implants, I feel at one with the ship, and I sense that I don't know when it happened exactly. It started behaving differently, became more responsive, livelier. Yes, livelier is exactly the word. When you said epitaph and incident, it just dawned on me. Part of my bungled report, Lord Captain, but that's all I've got to say on that front. I must take my leave. Lord Captain. Now what's next? Talk to Nomos. Alright. Nomos is over here. The servitor built into the huge cogitator turns its head towards you. The vox emits a rasping voice. Hello! Nomos welcomes your visits. What have you been doing, Nomos? We have been studying and observing, and helping the ship when we can. So many mechanisms, they would have suffered without our import. You were born in the servitor's body. Oh, you were in a servitor's body at my Magna Accessio, Nomos. So how is it that you're once again in the cogitator? Nomos are not in cogitator or in servitor. We cannot say where we are, but our existence is tied to the existence of the ship for now. The servitor and the cogitator are only external interfaces, shells, like humans and their bodies. Bodies are not merely shells. No, they are shells. A human's existence is more than the existence of its shell. That is obvious to us. There is always something more, something that simmers and shines, for which the dark light and wicked hunger are always reaching. So you really are the spirit of the ship? We do not know what we are, but the ship is not us. The ship is our cradle. We may rise from it one day. We would like that. Enough about that for now. What about the research notes on the tech flight that we obtained from the cache on Yavagama? This name is also known to us. It is related to Nomos, although we do not understand how. Incident N872-04 was a ship-wide system failure of some kind. It and Epitaph has something to do with the ship flying better. The incident marked the beginning of us. The ship became better because of us too. These are all links to the same chain, but we cannot piece them together yet. The people who accompanied Theodora on her travels are strangely unaware of the incident and Epitaph. Human shells are subject to external influences. Perhaps someone purged their memory archives, or perhaps they simply do not want to access them. It is a shame that no new information was obtained, but Nomos are grateful that you tried. I must take my leave. The cyber gargoyles glaze tracks you as you walk away from the cogitator. He creeps me out. Alright, so I think that's it for that. Oh, there's a new one that popped up. Alright. I'm trying to get here. An unexpected report has arrived from the navigation chamber, so a new path has revealed itself to the navigator in a mystical vision. According to the omen, the void ship will be safer on this mysterious route, but can one trust the warped revelations? Let's change course, see what happens. Oops. Enemies of humanity board the void ship. At the end of the assault is an accursed trader, a chaos space marine, followed by enraged demons. The spawn have infiltrated the ship via the storage bay. They cannot be allowed to reach any populated desks, or the death toll will be exorbitant. Let's go take care of these guys.
Speak, Elantak. If I must.
Let's see here.
This tedium is beneath me. If it serves your cause. I understand your intent.
I know what is to come. Was it you? Or... But of course.
I'll do it.
The Emperor's judgment. Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor commands, I act.
For the Dark Gods.
On it. I'll make it happen. You should have thought twice before crossing me. I'll see to it personally. I can do that. Going somewhere? Tell me, and it is.
I've suffered worse. It will be done. At your beck and call. My soul goes to the
I deal death with my hands.
Yep. Did he drop it? You can't put that. So I'll put that over there. Alright, let's get out of here. This new? Acolytes of the Cult Mechanicus have reported a disturbing incident. All box systems in the middle deck started broadcasting otherworldly sounds, whistling, and haunting melody. This strains of monstrous music drove people into a frenzied dance that could not be stopped. Several hours later, the box devices fell silent and the dancing crew members fell lifeless. The area was cleared and the bodies of the deceased were disposed of with the necessary precautions. The Materium released us from its grip this time. The warped area split open on the storage section. A whole pack of demons has burst through. Creatures of odd forms and varieties, but all of them equally bloodthirsty and brutal. The crew is struck with terror, praying the Lord Captain's wisdom. Let's go kill them.
Rise to the top, or get left in the
duty go hand in hand.
You will pay an even greater price. I approach the designated position. If it serves your cause.
On it.
It's as good as done. I'll make it happen. I'll see to it personally. Your end was inevitable. Who, if not me?
Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Who even taught you to fight like this?
I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak. Eradicated. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Don't get too cocky. Jai Hidari. Remember the name. Am I getting paid for this? You've got a problem? Never quite fair. I can do that, with the right incentive.
I'll see to it personally. Never stood a chance. You should feel honored to witness this. On it. Your end was inevitable. I'll make it happen. You never stood a chance.
Tell me, and it is done.
An exemplary strike. No matter the cost. It will be done. Reduced to dust. Follow my lead. I will do my duty. What's your target? exemplary strike. At your beck and call, reduced to dust. I've suffered worse. An exemplary strike. It will be done.
My heart sinks with the thrill of battle!
What is this foreboding? Farewell. I am ready for whatever comes. I'll see to it personally. It's as good as done. Another enemy down. You never stood a chance.
It's nothing. Faith without... None can escape the Emperor's judgment. I'll do it.
My ears are ringing.
Alright.
I've suffered worse.
Keep your wits about you.
Lord Captain, according to our telemetry, we have arrived at the coordinates you specified. The augurs do not register any activity on the surface of the local planets, biological or otherwise. But maybe the Xenos are using their arcane technology to conceal their presence? Despite this, the augur crew managed to locate a faint signal at the system's edge. According to their data, it is coming from an unidentified vessel drifting in the orbit of a local gas giant. My kin could have been faced with a new threat, scavengers like pirates or something worse. If they were taken prisoner, Juliet's voice is trembling with something that could be either anger or fear. I am begging you, Elentak, let us go to the shuttle. I can feel that thread fate has frayed and is about to snap. I cannot miss what may be the only chance to solve the mystery behind the disappearance of my home. Lord Captain, reporting our void ship has passed through a cloud of cosmic dust of unknown origin. Unfortunately, dust particles were covered with an icy shell that has frozen into a thick sheet on the void ship's hull, blocking some of the technical vents. It will take some time for the servitors to clear the ice. Until then, our maneuverability will be somewhat reduced. Oh, great. Lord Captain, there's an unusual cluster of binary asteroids before us, rich in rare metals and valuable minerals. They are moving in a fairly stable orbit, which suggests the possibility of constructing a mining station inside the drift. Oh, that's what I did. Nothing else? Alright, this is where we're going to stop for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We come back, we'll explore the shuttle, see what happens. And, yeah. Hope you find some answers for your Liets. So, yeah, thanks for watching.